Saturday. I hope you guys are all having a great Saturday. Sorry about the lighting. Our gym's a little dark nowadays since we put the shades in. But today I'm just wanting to go over a video of our trip to Orlando, to the Universal Orlando Resort, our thoughts, what we did, where we ate, all that kind of stuff. Just like a wide overview, because yes, at this point, you probably have either seen or you can see all of the videos. They're all posted, but we didn't get to post a ton because we didn't get a ton of footage. We had a lot that happened and unraveled right as we boarded the plane and were being de-iced, that our main focus wasn't on vlogging. And so, I want to be able to give an overview of everything we did because I don't think it was showcased super well in our vlogs. And then there's also going to be a follow-up video for those of you guys who are interested in a Disney versus Universal video and our thoughts. I'm going to try to get Nate in on that video, or at least get Nate's thoughts and what he thinks, or his opinion. I know mine, so I'll see, and if it is something I'm able to get him to do with me, I'll do it. If not, I will tell you guys like what he has to say. So, starting our trip, we flew American from Bangor to Charlotte and Charlotte to Orlando. Like I said, a lot unraveled as we were being de-iced in Bangor. A lot happened, and it's not something that I really want to talk about just yet. If you follow us on TikTok or Instagram, you probably know. Or if you follow me on Facebook, you probably know because you probably saw my post. Yeah, so we flew Bangor to Charlotte and then Charlotte to Orlando. Once we landed in Orlando, we didn't have any sort of transportation because, as you probably know, Universal doesn't have like transportation that picks you up at the airport. You can choose to get a shuttle. We did book through an agency and you could choose to add a shuttle, but it was suggested by our travel agent just to use a rideshare service because it was probably going to be cheaper. So that's what we did. When we arrived in Orlando, we didn't check any bags. We had just our carry-ons. And so we went right to the level in the terminal we were in for rideshare. And we looked at Uber and Lyft to see which was cheaper. And we ended up requesting a Lyft. And he arrived probably like 5 minutes in. And then it was probably about a 10 or 15 minute drive from Orlando International Airport to Universal's Aventura Hotel. So we arrived in Florida at like 2 in the afternoon. Got to our hotel by like 2:30. We got all checked in. Check-in was a breeze. We did it right in the main lobby of Aventura. And then we went up to our room. We were in a 2-queen deluxe room, and I'll put that on the screen if I'm saying that incorrectly, but we wanted a bigger room and a decent view. So we had a view. When you walked into the room, the whole outer wall was windows. So we had a view of Cabana Bay. You could see Volcano Bay, the volcano, over Cabana Bay because they definitely have the better view of the park. We had a view of the pool, and then you could see in a distance more of like the other side of Cabana Bay. So we got into our room. We didn't unpack a super ton because we did get a 2-queen room. Typically, when we go, we unpack all of our stuff. We put our suitcases away, etc. Due to the circumstances and everything that happened, we just weren't feeling it when we got there. So we did just put our suitcases on the 2nd queen bed and and just kind of lived out of our suitcases the time that we were there. So we arrived on Tuesday. After we got there, we did go downstairs, and they do offer, and I think this is across the board for Universal, at all of their resorts, they offer mugs. So we did get one mug, and you can buy it's like one round of drinks or a day's worth, or like your entire stay. And it was like $9 versus $19. So we went for our entire stay. That way you could drink unlimited amount of soda, juice, any of those sorts of things. So we invested in the cup when we got there, explored our resort, just kind of walked around a little bit, saw what we had for food options, and then checked out the store just a little bit, went back to our room, put our drink mug back there, and then decided, hey, like, let's just go to the park. So we ended up buying, as part of our package, 5-day 3-park tickets. And so it was on a promo, so we bought 3 days, get 2 free. But it was the 3 parks, and they were park hoppers. I 100% would recommend, if you're gonna go to Universal, to have the park hopper. We've done it both ways. The last year when we stayed at Wyndham Grand and went to Universal, we did not have park hoppers, and so we just had to like use a day at each park, which is kind of stressful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little stressed before we went because I didn't realize we had park hoppers. And so trying to plan like which parks we were gonna go to and how much, like, we were only gonna have a half a day the first day, and it was a little stressful. So once I found out we had park hoppers, that was super awesome. So we ended up going to Universal Tuesday night. We rode a few rides. I think we did like Jimmy Fallon, maybe like Transformers. Like, we did a few. It wasn't a lot. Yeah, I think that was probably it. And then after dinner, we went back to our resort, or after the park, we went back to our resort, and they had a brick oven pizza spot in the Urban Pantry, which is like their eatery there. That was pretty good. So we just did a small brick oven pizza for the both of us. Dining options at our resort were pretty slim. All you had was the Urban Pantry, which included like a pizza, like a brick oven pizza. It had like a grill, so you could get like hamburgers. I don't know if hot dogs was on the list, but I know hamburgers was. It had a salad bar, and then it had a place that you could do sushi and poke bowls. There was a Starbucks, and then there was 2 other bars, but that was it. So like, there wasn't a ton of food options. So if you're looking for something with good food, I'm not sure that this is the resort for you. But if you're okay with going to a different resort for food, or for like ordering Grubhub or Uber Eats, or DoorDash, then I think you'll be fine. Overall, the hotel was super techy. Like, it was very techy. Like, the elevators were all put like touchscreen. The rooms were ran off of iPads. Like, it was very, very techy, which I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So day 2, we got up and we actually did early park admission at Universal. So, at Islands of Adventure. So with booking with the travel agency we went with, you get EPA, but I believe if you stay on site with Universal, so regardless of how you book, I think you get EPA. So we went to Islands of Adventure. We went straight to Harry Potter World, or Land, or whatever they call it, which was Hogsmeade, and got in line for Hagrid's. So we did get to ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures or Adventures, whatever it's called. Really, really awesome ride. It was very well put together. There were some unexpected things in the ride, which I won't say because I don't want to spoil it, that I did not know about as far as like the actual ride and how it went, and not so much about the story. But overall, it was very, very awesome. It was a great ride. Honestly, there was like no wait for early park admission. We got there, got in line, and we walked the entire line and never stopped, and then got on the ride. So super awesome. You had the opportunity to ride, it's the other one in Islands of Adventure, and I can't honestly remember what it was called, but I don't know if it's the Journey or the Forbidden Journey one. I can't remember. But anyways, you had the option to ride that one. But those are the only two things open for early park admission at Islands of Adventure. So after we get off of Hagrid's, we walked around Hogsmeade a little bit, got some photos. Oh, you could do Velocicoaster. I'm sorry. You could do Velocicoaster. That was an option because they had kind of a road and you could split to either Velocicoaster or Hagrid's. So we did walk around a little bit where they were allowing you to walk during early park admission, and then we went and got in line for the Hogwarts Express right at like 8:50 because we knew Universal opened at 9. So we rode the Hogwarts Express to Universal. I would 1000% recommend that if you want to get some good photo opportunities in Universal, because once you come in, there was not like a soul in Universal. We pretty much had the whole park to ourselves. The first like half an hour, it was pretty dead. Like we rode the Hogwarts Express over, walked around Diagon Alley, and then we walked over towards like the Simpsons ride. We ended up riding Men in Black. We could have stayed on that ride probably for like an hour without having to get off because there was just nobody around. Then we hit a lot of rides day 2 because we ended up doing Transformers, I think we probably rode Jimmy Fallon again. I know we rode Fast and Furious. We did Men in Black, we did The Simpsons, we did a ton. So I would highly recommend getting there right when they open because I think that definitely helped. Then we rode the Hogwarts Express back over to Islands of Adventure and walked around over there a little bit. We did Spider-Man. We did not get to do the Jurassic Parks ride because there was just not really a good time where we would want it to get soaked, as well as we didn't do the Toontown water ride either. So we walked around a little bit, went back to our resort like midday, chilled by the pool, kind of relaxed. We did go check out. So we walked from Aventura to the Sapphire Hotel every single day and got on the water taxi because that saves so much time. So if you're thinking about staying at Aventura and you want to know like the easiest way to get around, it's the water taxi because you can ride the water taxi to City Walk, but you hit security at the hotel. So the lines are way shorter for security, and then you can get off right in the middle of City Walk and choose which park you want to go to. So we did that every single time. So we hung out at the Sapphire a little bit, went back to our hotel, chilled in the pool, and then we went back to the parks later in the evening and closed out the night at Universal. On Thursday and Friday, we did Volcano Bay in the morning. So we got up and did early park admission at Volcano Bay both days. That was fun. Volcano Bay was actually a really awesome experience. I think if we had more people with us, we totally would have stayed longer because it was hard because we got a locker. So we had to put our phones and stuff in it, and then we had to keep going back to the locker. So I think if we would have had like another family with us or more like friends with us, I think we probably would have stayed like the entire day because we could have just like somebody could stay at the chairs and at all times like filter in and out. The wave pool was fantastic. We did the aqua coaster like 3 times. We did a couple other bigger rides. We did the plunge drop. It's like a slide where you drop into a 10-foot pool. Like that was pretty fun. We did a lot of tube rides. There was a lot going on at Volcano Bay. We did all of the lazy rivers. We had a fast one and a slow one. We could have spent really all day there had we had a locker that we could like, excuse me, had we had like a chair that we could just keep going back and forth to, because even like for food and everything, you had to go back to your lockers and get it. You could do stuff on your tapu, but we didn't really look into that or like learn about that while we were there. So that was hard. I think hindsight being 2020, like if we went again, I would make an effort to learn about the tapu system, because it's my understanding you can charge on that and do everything on that, so that it's kind of more just easier for you to be able to like do stuff. So Thursday and Friday we did that. Thursday, I think we went back to either Universal or Islands, and then we had a dinner reservation at Hard Rock. And then Wednesday we had a dinner reservation at Toothsomes. I'm not gonna lie, and don't put me like the nasty comments in the comments box, but I didn't like Toothsomes. I wasn't a fan, and I don't think I would go again. I felt the atmosphere was good, but the food, what was on the menu was just not what I was expecting, and we really just didn't care for it. We would much rather go to the Hard Rock Cafe. So we did Hard Rock on Thursday, and then on Friday, we only did Volcano Bay in the morning, came back to the pool, or came back to the hotel, went to the pool, kind of hung out. I think we got like Hooters for lunch. We DoorDashed it in, and then we ended up actually taking an Uber down to Disney Springs. So we went to Disney Springs, walked around there, and then ended up having supper at Planet Hollywood, which is one of our favorite places. And then Saturday, we really just took it easy. We went to the pool in the morning, and then we ended up going over to City Walk to get Panda Express. We did go into Islands of Adventure because we did have one day left, and we just went in to get a Christmas ornament. So after we got the ornament, we walked around, got a few last photos, and then just went back to the hotel, packed our bag, and that was really it. So overall, I would give the Aventura a really good rating. It was a really clean hotel. It was super techy. There were robots. The rooftop bar was really awesome. You could see the fireworks from Disney. It was in a really good central location. You had easy access to the water taxi if you wanted to walk over to the Sapphire. Would I stay there again? Probably not. And the only reason I say that is because I think I would choose the Sapphire over Aventura, just because of the water taxi. Like, it's right there. And the Sapphire's pool is like, you know, if I put the Aventura pool at like a 3, I'd put the Sapphires at like a, you know, like a 5 being the highest, because they had a slide, they had a couple hot tubs, they had cabanas. Like, it was there was a really big difference in the pools from Aventura to Sapphire. So we were told prior to going that we were able to use the pools at any of the resorts that are on Universal property. We did not attempt to try that, just because for the sake of everything, it was just simpler to go to our own pool. But I do think I would go with the Sapphire next time if I was going to stay. The price difference was not that much because we did get it quoted for us when we were looking. So yeah, I mean, if I wanted to go to the rooftop bar, I think I would just go to the hotel and go to the rooftop bar, but I would stay at the Sapphire. But overall, the hotel was very clean. You know, room service was great. The robots were really cool. The iPads were a really nice feature. The food was not great. It wasn't the greatest food at the hotel. The Sapphire did have much better food. It was way more pricier, but they definitely had better food. They had a buffet in the morning. They had like a family style dinner in the afternoon. Like, there was just a lot of things that were different that I would go with. But so yeah, I would definitely choose the Sapphire. However, the Aventura was a really nice hotel. The staff was fantastic. They were super nice. The robots were great. You know, overall, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give Aventura like a 7. It was not a bad hotel. And then I probably would rate Sapphire. I didn't stay there, so I can't speak for the rooms, but for the amenities that the Sapphire had, I'd probably give it like a 9, because it had the water taxi, it had the bigger pool, had a lot better food options. Just overall really, really, really nice. Aventura overall, a really nice resort, very clean, but I personally would choose the Sapphire if I was to go again, so that I could have access to, or you could have better access to the water taxi, the better food options, and all of that. We did do Instacart, something just to keep in the back of your mind about Instacarting or DoorDashing or Uber Eats or Grubhub is that the delivery drivers are not allowed into the halls of the rooms. So you have to meet them either in the lobby or outside of the hotel to get your belongings. So we did have to meet all of our DoorDashers and our Instacart guy in the lobby. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of our Universal trip. Like I said, I do wish we would have shared more in video form, but just due to the circumstances, it wasn't the first thing on our mind, grabbing our camera or our phones. And to be honest, like even the flight down and the trip down, we tried to get as much as we could, but that probably wasn't really a time either. But our next trip, hopefully it will be better and you guys will get more footage from us. But yeah, so Universal Orlando, it was a great trip. I would recommend it to anybody, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan. I would recommend it because it's really, really driven for Harry Potter. So there is definitely other things to do because we're not Harry Potter fans. But definitely check out Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade because I do think that that's definitely something to see. The butterbeer is definitely something to try. It's non-alcoholic. It's honestly, it tastes like cream soda and like a caramel cream. Really, really good. We saw a ton of people, adults, kids, everything, walking around with them. So we tried just a normal one, not a frozen one, and it was super good. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you make a decision on which Universal Resort hotel you want to stay at. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. We did explore, I should say that. We did explore so there's the Sapphire. Okay guys, Royal Pacific. I think it's Royal Pacific. We actually got lost at Royal Pacific because we were walking. We did the walking trail from Sapphire to City Walk, and you have to go right through Royal Pacific. Very nice hotel from what we could see. Huge pool bar, really big like splash pad area for the kids. Yeah, really nice resort. That's a resort I believe that comes with express passes. So if you get a room there, you get free express passes. We also visited Portofino Bay, if that's how you pronounce it. That was really, it reminded me a lot of like maybe Italy or something along those lines. Very fancy. It reminds me of definitely a deluxe resort if you're comparing to Disney. But it was very business driven. There was a lot of business people there. So I don't know if that might be like one of the resorts where they do a lot of conferences, but there were business people everywhere. Suits, like dress up clothes. They were doing a lot of catering events when we were there. They had like a whole like, I don't know, like, I don't even know what you would call it, like big open garden type area where they were setting up like catering. So I think it's like a way fancy for what we're used to. You also get express passes, I believe, if you stay at that resort. I would pick Royal Pacific over that one. We did not check out the Hard Rock. It was under a lot of construction. So we didn't stop there, and we did not go to Cabana Bay. But our next time going to Universal, we would definitely choose Sapphire. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. There's going to be more videos coming. I'm going to do a Disney versus Universal video so you can kind of hear my thoughts on that, which stay tuned because I think I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm a predictable person or not, but what I think, I'll be curious if you guys think that's the way I was gonna think. And we're gonna do a universal food overview kind of a video so that you guys can kind of hear where we ate, what our thoughts were on the food options, and then yeah, I think that kind of is going to wrap up our universal videos after that. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great evening, and we will talk to you guys on our next video. Bye guys.